Every night something unusual happens inside your brain. Your body becomes still, your eyes close, and the outside world fades away. But inside your mind, activity does not stop. In many ways, it becomes even more intense. Dreams begin to appear. Sometimes they are vivid stories. Sometimes they are strange fragments of memory, imagination, and emotion blended together in ways that would never happen during waking life. You might find yourself walking through a city that suddenly turns into your childhood home. You might speak with someone you have not seen in years. You might even experience events that feel completely real until the moment you wake up. For thousands of years, humans wondered why dreams exist at all. Ancient civilizations believed dreams were messages from gods or glimpses of the future. Philosophers believed dreams revealed hidden parts of the soul. But modern neuroscience suggests something different. Dreaming is not a mystical experience. It is a side effect of how the brain organizes itself during sleep. Sleep itself happens in several stages. Early in the night, the brain enters deep, slow-wave sleep. During this stage, brain activity slows down and the body focuses on physical recovery. Muscles relax, heart rate decreases, and cells begin repairing damage from the day. But later in the sleep cycle, another stage appears. This stage is called REM sleep, which stands for rapid eye movement. During REM sleep, the brain becomes highly active again. In fact, some parts of the brain during REM sleep are almost as active as they are when you are awake. Your eyes move rapidly beneath closed eyelids, breathing becomes irregular, and vivid dreams often occur. What is strange is that while the brain becomes active, the body becomes temporarily paralyzed. Signals from the brainstem prevent most muscles from moving. This prevents you from physically acting out the events in your dreams. Without this protection, people might run, jump, or fight while sleeping. Inside the brain, however, activity continues to flow. The visual cortex becomes active, which helps create the images you see in dreams. Emotional centers such as the amygdala also become highly active, which explains why dreams often contain intense feelings like fear, excitement, or confusion. But one important region becomes less active. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logical reasoning and self-control, quiets down during REM sleep. This change creates a strange combination. Your brain is generating vivid images and strong emotions, but the system responsible for questioning those experiences is partially offline. That is why dream events often feel completely normal while they are happening. You might suddenly be flying through the air or speaking with someone who passed away years ago, and in the dream it feels perfectly reasonable. Only after waking up does the logical mind return and realize how strange the experience was. But the purpose of dreams may go deeper than random activity. Many scientists believe dreams help the brain process memories and emotions. During the day, your brain collects enormous amounts of information. Conversations, faces, places, ideas, and feelings all accumulate in memory systems. If the brain simply stored everything exactly as it happened, the system would quickly become overloaded. Sleep gives the brain time to reorganize. During certain stages of sleep, the hippocampus begins replaying patterns of neural activity that occurred during the day. These replays help transfer important information into long-term storage in the cortex. Dreams may be a byproduct of this replay process. Fragments of recent experiences combine with older memories and emotional themes while the brain sorts through them. This explains why dream content often includes pieces of recent events mixed with older memories. A conversation from earlier in the day might appear alongside a location from childhood. The brain is linking information across time. Dreaming may also help regulate emotions. Studies have shown that emotional experiences from the day are often reprocessed during REM sleep. The brain revisits emotional memories, but in a safer environment where stress chemicals are lower. This allows the brain to gradually reduce the emotional intensity of certain memories. It is almost like the brain is rehearsing difficult experiences until they feel less overwhelming. This could explain why sleep often helps people feel clearer or calmer about problems that seemed stressful the day before. The brain spent the night reorganizing emotional reactions. Dreams can also play a role in creativity. Because the logical filtering systems of the brain are reduced during REM sleep, unusual connections between ideas can form more easily. The brain explores combinations that waking logic might reject. Some famous scientific and artistic insights reportedly appeared in dreams. The brain was free to experiment with possibilities without the constraints of strict reasoning. However, not every dream has deep meaning. Many dreams are simply random fragments of neural activity that the brain tries to assemble into a story. The mind dislikes meaningless patterns. When scattered signals appear during sleep, the brain often creates a narrative to explain them. This is similar to how the brain interprets shapes in clouds or faces in shadows. The mind prefers stories over randomness. Lucid dreaming provides another fascinating glimpse into this process. In a lucid dream, a person becomes aware that they are dreaming while the dream is still happening. When this awareness appears, parts of the prefrontal cortex briefly reactivate. The dreamer may gain some control over the dream environment or actions. This shows that the dreaming brain is not completely disconnected from conscious awareness. It simply operates under a different balance of brain activity. When morning arrives and you wake up, most dreams fade quickly. The hippocampus, which helps store long-term memories, is less active during REM sleep. As a result, many dreams are never fully encoded into lasting memory. They disappear moments after waking. But even if you forget them, the brain has already completed the important work. It has reorganized information, processed emotions, and strengthened connections that help you learn and adapt. Dreams may feel mysterious, strange, or even meaningless, but behind the scenes they are part of the brain's nightly maintenance system. While you sleep, your brain is quietly rewriting the connections that shape your thoughts, memories, and emotions. And the strange worlds you visit in dreams may simply be the visible side of that hidden process. And hidden processes are always the most consequential ones. The work that shapes you most profoundly is rarely the work you are conscious of doing. It happens in the margins, in the quiet, in the hours you surrendered to sleep without knowing what you were giving your brain permission to do. Every night you close your eyes, you are handing the most complex organ in the known universe an unsupervised window to reorganize everything you experienced that day. To decide what matters, to soften what hurt, to connect what seemed unrelated, to quietly update the model of who you are and what the world means. You did not instruct it to do any of that, it simply did it. Because that is what it was built for. And this reveals something worth carrying into your waking hours. Not every problem needs to be solved consciously. Not every emotion needs to be wrestled into submission before you rest. Not every unanswered question requires you to stay awake forcing resolution. Some things need to be handed over. Some processing requires you to get out of the way and trust that the brain will continue working when awareness steps aside. There is a reason the phrase "sleep on it" has survived every generation. Not as superstition, as neuroscience that arrived intuitively before the language existed to explain it. The dreaming brain is not escaping your life. It is maintaining it, and every morning you wake up is proof that the maintenance worked. Which means the most productive thing you can do at the end of a difficult day is also the simplest and most consistently undervalued. Stop, rest, sleep, not as a reward for finishing everything, not as something you earn after exhausting every other option, but as a non-negotiable act of maintenance for the only brain you will ever have. You would not run a complex machine indefinitely without servicing it and expect peak performance. Yet most people do exactly that with their minds and then wonder why clarity feels distant, emotions feel unmanageable, and progress feels impossibly slow. The brain does not ask for much, but it does ask for this. And when you consistently deny it, you are not just losing sleep. You are losing the nightly reconstruction of memory, the emotional processing that softens difficulty, the creative connections that solve what daytime logic cannot, and the quiet biological maintenance that makes you recognizably yourself by morning. Sleep is not downtime, it is foundation.